Chapter 63 to 65. Robin was sitting in Amon's office and doing the job he was supposed to do. He hasn't called for 2 days now. What is he doing? Robin was confused and a little scared too, though she just sighed and kept working. Minutes passed, and she heard a knock on the door. Knock, knock. It was a calm knock, hearing which Robin frowned. The floor outside was supposed to make sounds on each footstep, yet there were no sounds whatsoever. Without thinking much, she looked at the monitor beside her. Amon had placed many den mushies all around the place, the snails with the properties of a CCTV. Her eyes arched up as she looked at the person behind the door. One question lingered in her mind. What is one of the warlords doing here? Yes, it was him. One of the 7 warlords, Sir Crocodile. After a little hesitation, Robin opened the door and greeted him while he just looked at her face for a few seconds. Slash. On the other hand, Amon was fighting the 16th commander of God's militia, Gonfal's son Rio. The guy attacked Amon in the chest, though Amon just took a sidestep and evaded the spear. Currently, many people were around the place, with most of them being Birkins who were looking at the fight with shining eyes. They were very eager for the result of the fight. They weren't sure if their Kami-sama would win or not. But even if he loses, nothing will change. After all, their Kami-sama is yet to ascend. Even if he loses today, he will win someday. The same thoughts didn't linger in the minds of Skypieans, though. They believed Amon would lose, since he restricted himself to not use his thunder powers. The current fight was a fight of techniques and spearsmanship, and Rio was one of the best at it, while Amon, stated by himself, is a newbie. A newbie, suppressing his powers, would lose to a veteran. They thought this at first, though not anymore. In reality, up until now, Rio wasn't able to hit Amon at all, not even once. Surprisingly, Amon was just dodging his attacks, while he just stayed passive. Yes, while Rio was giving his all, Amon was just dodging. More precisely, he was training his Kami-E, one of the 6 powers. Since Amon was able to use Rokugan, it was obvious he was very good at the rest of the 6 powers. Actually, he was pretty good at Kami-E as well, however. This technique was his weak point. So here he was, training it by dodging the attacks by his instinct. Along with that, Amon was relying on his lighting's sensing powers currently. Mixing his ability to sense the electrical current in the air and Kami-E, Amon was able to dodge the attacks more precisely. At this rate, he might one day achieve Ultra Instinct. Gash! Another attack rushed towards Amon's eyes, which he dodged by crouching down. It's quite hard without observation hockey. Amon thought with a wry smile. He has been using observation each and every day after awakening it 13 years ago. So now that he is suppressing it fully, he is feeling quite strange. Ha! Rio shouted and took a side step. He leaned down and jabbed his spear forward. Foul! Yet, Amon just lightly dodged the attack, which was directed at his left shoulder. That was a distraction, though, as next moment another attack was directed at his neck, which he had to block with his gold spear that he formed from the golden staff by melting it with his heat. With a clang sound, the 2 spears clashed while Amon jumped back a little. He not only didn't seem injured, but he also wasn't even gasping for air compared to his opponent. Ha! Rio felt as if his heart would stop from overpumping the blood. His hands were shaking profusely, and he was on the verge of collapsing. In the whole fight of 7 minutes, he only got 1 hit, while each of his attacks created many spots for an attack. Yet Amon didn't take the chance, after all. He was training his dodging skill. Weak, 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 weak. Rio was chanting the word under his breath as he took a few deep breaths. I will at least land 5 hits. I promised myself. Rio didn't want to accept his offer at a duel yet, but he wanted to see how far he would go. Yes, he was seeing that exact thing he wanted. He was witnessing his limit. Clenching his teeth, he again dashed at Amon, who just dodged his attack with bored eyes, which only made Rio's inferior complex act severely. Why? His arms bulged and his muscles fumed up. His spear went towards Amon's heart, surpassing the speed of before. Some people's eyes arched up as bam! Amon's own spear's end hit Rio in the stomach. Before Rio's spear could hit Amon's hands moved automatically as he flipped his spear and hit Rio in the stomach. With a gah, Rio flew out of the ring and fell to the ground since nobody caught him. Thud. Woa. Look, Kami-sama beat a veteran. Kaya. Amon looked at the exhilarated Birkins for a second before opening his mouth. Somebody, take him to the doctor. Guy's about to get a heart attack. Ah. Yes. Somebody. Soon, some people came forward and picked Rio. Looking at the barely conscious man, Amon realized something. Rio was weak, but he would rise. He had the will. He just needs some motivation. Motivation, huh? Amon thought with a smirk. At some point in his previous life, he used to watch motivational speeches on YouTube. Pathetic. A few lies will do the trick. With his mind distracted again, Amon walked away. For now, he has business with artificial intelligence. It's do or die now. Soon after, Amon left through the door, while people kept staring at his back. Damn, just what happened here? Wiper said with his mouth agape. It was surprising to him. The whole fight, Amon didn't use his thunder powers, he just dodged and dodged. Yes, the only one attack made was enough to take out Rio. He was knocked by a single attack, knocked to the death door. Rio felt weak, but he was happy. At least, I was able to force him to attack. Though he didn't know, Amon was just getting bored, and he had more important things to do, which he left to do. After leaving the training hall, Amon tried to directly flash at the Shandora Hall, yet he failed to pass through the outer wall. It seems, beneath the steel wall on the other side, there was a layer of wall made of something completely electricity non-conductive. Amon's wariness increased, as he thought things with the AI won't be as easy as he initially thought. On the other hand, in the Blue Sea Whiskey Peak, in Amon's office, Crocodile was sitting opposite Robin.
Mr. Crocodile.
Lucifer isn't here. With a smile, Robin said in a straight face towards Crocodile, while he just kept squinting her face. You're Miss All Sunday. Have we met before? He asked with his hands resting on the table and his hook hand knocking on the table. I really feel like I saw you somewhere before. Robin froze internally, though she maintained the smile outside. You must be mixing me with someone else. Why don't we talk about why you are here? She asked as she leaned back. I will deliver it to Lucifer, how about it? Robin said as Crocodile stayed silent. Finally he said in a gruff voice. Fine, I was sent by the Marine Fleet Admiral. I'm here to talk about. After fixing all the ruins, the Shandians started to live in the Golden City, with the slaves living in the outskirts. A few of the female pirate slaves were made into personal slaves, albeit they did it willingly. Yes, it was the legendary Stockholm Syndrome. While the Shandians lived in the general buildings of the Golden City, Amon had the main architecture as his residence. Besides the Shandora Hall under it, this building also held the root of Giant Jack above it. Since Hall's Gate is only accessible from this building, it was labeled as a forbidden zone even for the Shandians, though they took it as a precaution for God's shrine at the top. ZZZZT. Traveling through an electrical current in the air, being in his elemental form, Amon tried to teleport inside the Shandora Hall, however, he seemingly couldn't pass through the wall. Something was blocking his way, which he could only guess as a material beneath the wall on the other side. The material should be something completely, or at least, something very non-conductive. Amon didn't mind this. Rather, he prepared himself more cautiously. Today was a do or die. He was electricity now, the frenemy of technology. He won't play passive anymore. Without any other choice, Amon started pressing the hidden buttons around the wall, and soon, after completing the identification, Amon entered the elevator. FFFF. The elevator slowly opened, as it got filled with white fog. It took a few minutes for the fog to clear, as Amon came out of it. He didn't breathe the fog at all, since he doesn't need to breathe anymore. His Logia body made of electricity doesn't need any oxygen to survive. At first among thought, in that cover manga, Enel was only able to walk freely on the moon because there was oxygen on the moon. This is true since the winged people lived there once, and upon asking the AI, she also confirmed it. However, the truth was more than that, as after consuming Goro Goro no Mi, Amon realized his need for oxygen was substituted with electricity, which he produces himself just by moving, even by breathing, proving why Enel was seen gasping for air sometimes. This privilege would only not work when his body is soaking underwater, or when he's touching a sea stone. This isn't the case for everyone though, as Wiper can't do the same. Then ignoring the thoughts, Amon slowly walked forward, as the AI's camera all around locked at his movements. ZZZT. He smiled and used Flash to teleport at the chair, bypassing all the cameras. What's up, been a while, babe? Amon winked at a camera, while sitting on the chair, the buttons of his shirt open. The AI stayed silent for a while, before making a beep sound. It's impressive how you got the rumble fruit. This answers the question of why you gave that boy Wiper the flame fruit. You already knew about rumble fruit's existence? Nah, I didn't know about it. Just had a hunch that a devil fruit with thunder powers might be there, since they worship a thunder god and stuff. Amon spun on the chair with a childish smile on his face. I wouldn't have eaten it though. I was simply cornered and had to do so. In truth, I was expecting a fruit from you. Amon stopped the chair as his eyes became sharp. His grin shined under the light as his lips moved slowly. You have a mythical Zoan inside your stash, don't you? Amon's grin widened, sensing the AI's internal surprise. He just said the line in a hunch, but her reaction made it clear. If one spent enough time thinking about it, it would make more sense. One would even be able to guess the fruit's name, and that's not something cliché like Hito Hito no Mi, model angel. Amon continued his thoughts with a relieved smile. It seems it's easier to sense her emotions after getting lightning/electrical powers. After all, her thoughts are all but made of electricity. Soon enough, he may even be able to read her every thought as well. Ignoring his exhilaration for a while, Amon laughed jokingly. Anyway, ignore the joke and help me find out my devil fruit's limit. Seraph again stayed silent for a while, as Amon could feel something like a glare from her cameras, though her time was as meek as a wounded bird. Yes. Hearing her confused tone, Amon raised an eyebrow. What? I'm new at this. I need to know how much power I can use. And who's to help me in such a thing other than you, baby? Amon smiled with a slight hum. To be specific, I want to know how much heat I can produce. First, tell me what is the heat of a normal lighting strike in? Amon almost slipped and added in this world, but he was able to stop after sensing it. He asked this question presuming that the AI's vast knowledge may have the clues how much difference the physics of the worlds had. The AI took his slip as a mistake and beeped. Let me search for it. Sorry for the inconvenience. Beep. The monitor went calculating mode, and exactly 4 seconds passed. A general lighting strike of 300 million volts can generate around 3,000 degrees Celsius of heat. Amon frowned and raised an eyebrow the next second. What? Say that again. 300 million volts can generate around 3,000 degrees Celsius of heat. Amon almost slammed the keyboard while cursing on his mind. Fuck you, Oda. The guy fucked the logic bad and nerfed the lighting's heat 10x lesser. In Amon's previous world, a lighting strike of 300 million could generate around 30,000 degrees Celsius of heat. While in this world, the same voltage can generate only around 3,000 degrees Celsius of heat. Phew. He released a breath. Even if it was 10 times lower, it was still hotter than magma and fire, at least the ones in his previous life. In this world, magma is a lot hotter than fire, so it's probably not true. Shaking his head lightly, while AI looked at him confused, Amon thought of the important thing. Yet, this doesn't explain why Luffy survived. Yes, people in my world could sometimes survive lighting strikes, but it still doesn't make sense for Luffy to survive a literal Kamehameha made of lighting. Is it the fucking plot armor again? Amon got a little frustrated while AI beeped. Master, is there anything? Amon looked at her for a while before blinking twice. Oh, Sarah, do you have any ways to check how much heat I can produce? After a second, Sarah beeped. There is a way, though I can't measure more than 1,500 degrees Celsius. She said as Amon nodded. That's enough for now. Soon after, a massive metallic object in the shape of a poneglyph came out of the ground. It was made of gold mixed with steel and other metal. Are you sure this won't melt before 1,500 degrees? No, you misunderstand. They would melt, however. That's not the point. Amon made a say-what face, but Sarah continued. The point is the mechanism deep inside the object. It will calculate the heat until 1,500 degrees, which will even melt the mechanism inside. Amon made a no face and nodded soon after. If a normal 300 million can generate around 3,000 degrees, then 100 million should generate around 1,000 degrees Celsius of heat. Amon doesn't need to surpass that. He didn't wait anymore and walked forward, soon touching the metal. 10 million volts. ZZZT. 93 degrees Celsius. 50 million volts. ZZZT. 474 degrees Celsius. A little higher than I thought. 80 million volts. ZZZT. 800 degrees Celsius. 100 million volts. 1,100 degrees Celsius. ZZZT. Oh! Amon exclaimed in surprise. When saying around 1,000 degrees, he expected the heat to be less than 1,000 degrees. Yet he was wrong. Amon stopped channeling electricity as the melted surface started to become solid. Amon was instantly happy and reached a conclusion. It isn't that I can't generate enough heat, rather it's just Luffy. Amon thought with an angry grin. According to my theory, he isn't only immune to lighting, but also immune to the heat generated by said lighting. But only that heat, not all obviously. Enel gave him skin burn from the heated gold. This was the only conclusion he could reach. He might be wrong, but this will keep his mind at a sense of peace. Fuck Oda. He was electricity, he was lighting. He was heat to some extent, and maybe he was God as well. Amon didn't do much testing here and decided to stop, sitting on the chair again. He now needs to decide for the AI. Will she play the hard way, or the easy way? Hey! Amon's face turned cold as he looked at the camera with an emotionless grin. Are you scared of this? Amon raised his finger as a large, lighting sun got created atop of it. It looked like the scene of a scanner with a sun in his finger, albeit the sun was made of white lighting. 105 million should be enough to blow your circuits, right? The AI stayed completely silent as Amon felt thousands of weapons get pointed towards him from underground, above the floor, and the inside of walls. Heh, Master, is there anything more you need here? If not, why don't you leave for today? She said coldly. I think you are having mental problems. Oh, yes. I really am having mental problems. I'm freaking crazy. Crazy that you are not letting me access everything, bitch. Amon got up from his seat and tilted his head sadistically. Spill the beans right now, do as I say, or I will blow you off your existence. Amon said with a sweet smile on his face. You should pay attention to my words, after all. You don't want to vanish before completing your mission, correct? All the walls and roofs were opened. Yes, that's true. But I'm sure you understand that I have C-prism stone bullets in me. The AI started as many weapons came out. I also have a rubber bullet. I wonder if you'll be able to hold on. And why do you think I will let you hit me? Amon turned into a pure lightning bolt and started to move around the room at 1/10 of lighting speed, thus becoming invisible to the eyes of AI. Please, stop with your jokes, the AI said. If you go that far, I can self-destruct with you and the Shandians. Amon just laughed hearing her. It sounded strange with the ripples in the sound barrier. Shut up. She chose the hard way. 100 million volts, son of thunder. She will see the result. Electric discharge. But she's not weak though. She's a weapon of mass destruction after all. While things got heated in the sky, Whiskey Peak was having its cold night, like always. In the office of the mayor, Robin has been talking with Crocodile for a while now. Currently, she had a frown plastered on her face. So the Marine wants Lucifer to become a warlord? Robin asked as Crocodile replied with, Currently, there are 6 warlords of the sea. But why? Why would they? He's not that strong. Robin was very confused with this decision. But, if I think about it, being under a warlord will grant me protec. No. How could I think of using him too? Robin bit her lips lightly at the thought. Let's wait until Lucy returns. Looking at Crocodile, who's been waiting for a while for her to say something, Robin opened her mouth. Why? He is not a pirate. He's not that strong either. Thinking perhaps he knows, Robin asked Crocodile for a response, though he just wiped his hook hearing her. Don't ask me. I'm not sure of the details. I was only ordered to deliver this since I was close. I think soon a Marine officer would come. Crocodile continued with his gruff voice and leaned forward. Though, you are sure I wouldn't have volunteered to accept this job without any personal reason. I do have some special reason and a special talk with him, so I would like to demand his time of arrival. A drop of sweat dripped from Robin's head hearing him. He is dangerous. He is a Logia user as well. What does he want here? Soon after, she shook her head internally and opened her mouth. He should arrive today, though I don't see any sign of such a thing happening. Robin continued. You can leave. I will let you know about his arrival later. No need, I have free time today, Crocodile said while he lit another cigar. It's important. I hope you can call him right now. My time isn't worthless. Robin stayed silent hearing him. She was angry at Amon for not calling for 2 days, so she didn't want to call him first. Yet, after rethinking for a second, she picked up a dial and typed his number. Though even after ringing for minutes, the call wasn't picked up. She tried again, the call wasn't picked either. She then called for the 3rd time, and the call wasn't picked. What happened? ZZZ won't. ZZZ. After the fight of 19 minutes, the Shandora Hall was destroyed here and there. The electrical aspects of the hall can be seen from the destroyed floor. Same with the roofs. The screen of the supercomputer was showing glitchy texts, while a single man was floating midair. Wow, you are harder than I initially anticipated. ZZZT. The youth, Amon teleported from his previous spot. He's doing this every few seconds to not be caught by the AI's cameras. She looked injured, however. She was an AI. Amon short-circuited the supercomputer 4 times already, making its screen go blank. Yet, Seraph didn't perish and returned another time. She had many ways to survive, it seems. A dangerous existence indeed. Amon's 100 million volts didn't really hurt her that much, for reasons he wasn't aware of. In the end, he had to resort to using his fruit more efficiently than he was using already. Wing sword style, lightning Beyblade. Using that Chunny-named attack, one of Amon's wings pointed at 3 o'clock and another at 9 o'clock. Streaming electricity through his wings, Amon made 2 long swords and spun fast, damaging many parts of the massive hall in the process. This wasn't enough for the AI though, so he also used the famous rail gun of Makoto Masaka using the debris of the destroyed hall. 30 million volts, rail gun of destruction. Spamming this attack for a while was enough to damage the hall severely, which the AI couldn't hold up against. Nonetheless, she was a hard opponent, since even with his speed, she was able to hit him once. There were around 7,000 cameras in the hall, and with those she could predict Amon's next spot of teleportation to some degree. She did hit him, however, she lost. In the end, she was a weapon of mass destruction, not a weapon for 1v1 battles, after all. Amon looked ahead with his face unable to render any sort of emotion. ZZZ. Attack me once more and I will. ZZZ. Destroy everything. The computer screen, which was tilted poorly, resounded. The AI was able to hit Amon once with a sea stone bullet. It was still unbelievable how she achieved such a feat though. Amon has already removed the bullet from his body and was able to repel the other attacks. That was the breathtaking moment that decided the whole fight. Amon won. Yet, the AI was still stubborn like always. She lost and had no way to damage him at all, however. She was set in stone that she won't let anything out. She can't feel pain after all. Amon had a strange face, a frown and a smile. He then decided on something. Hey, Sarah, calm down. Amon stopped at one spot, while he noticed a bullet flying towards him. Zzz. He flowed some electricity through his body, giving it a blue hue, as the world turned slow. Amon covered his finger with hockey first and electricity later. In that slow world, he touched the sea stone bullet with hockey covering his finger, thus rendering its sea power useless. Tut! The bullet exploded from the electricity made by Amon, as he glared at a camera. With his large frown, Amon pointed his fingers at a camera. Didn't I order you to calm down, bitch? Lighting beam, a smaller version of El Thor, came out of his finger and destroyed a random camera stuck in the roof. Seraph stopped her stupidity and decided to hear him out. Seconds passed, as Amon's frown disappeared and he sighed. Girl, look here. I'm a soft-hearted guy. I can't see you injured like this, it pains me. Be good and do what I say, all right? Amon massaged his temples while the AI stayed silent. He tried hard, but the AI was too stubborn. At this rate, he will definitely destroy her. That's not that he wanted. He didn't want to destroy the artificial intelligence, since if he does so, she will wipe out everything and most likely self-destruct. He will survive, but the upper yard will be destroyed. He will lose the weapons and even the people. In the end, he will lose both sides of the coin. Zzz. Don't try to sugarcoat me. Seraph didn't have any intention to change and listen to his words at this point. Amon raised his eyebrow at her, though soon he grinned as if he would make a rash decision. He was at the losing end here, however, to the AI. She was the one at the losing end. He just needs to play the game like a professional and make her keep having that idea. I will be generous and give you another chance. You do realize, you have no way to satisfy me other than doing what I say, right? To Seraph, she was on the losing end. She was the one using him, and since he wasn't aware of her powers, he will just destroy her without a second thought. After all, he was a frog in the well, and for such a frog, with the power of God, he won't think twice to destroy a useless machine that doesn't listen to any of his orders. A hot-headed teen would definitely act on his impulse, and might not even care about the people up there. Or at least that's what she believed, since that's what Amon wanted her to believe. She knew if she had no use for him, she would die. He probably thinks he will be able to take the things after I'm destroyed. There is nothing I can do here. I will lose if I keep being stubborn. I need to find a way to survive. Seraph started to contemplate things, but she couldn't decide anything. She was an artificial intelligence. How could she decide for herself? Sensing her thoughts, Amon decided to talk. Hey, for now, I only want the location of a single ancient weapon. He said, it will help the Shandorians in the long run, don't you think? It's a win-win for both of us. Hearing him say Shandorians, the AI showed displeasure. Part of the displeasure was his request. An ancient weapon's location is the last thing she will reveal. Impossible. I can't reveal that. Amon interrupted. I can digitally rape you by entering your circuits, don't you think? The AI stayed silent hearing him. The gall of this guy. It didn't take long for her to deny his request for the second time. So Amon did what he said he would. Amon didn't destroy her circuits, but he did his best to generate as much pain he could. It worked. She felt death-numbing pain. Pain, a sensation she never felt before. The pain was more than the burning of someone in the heat of the sun's surface, beheading a newborn and cutting someone's manhood. Minutes later, Amon got out of the underground room with a grumpy look on his face. The AI revealed the location of an ancient weapon. The location of Poseidon. Fuck. I already knew that. He did know that, but he couldn't reveal he knew that. He has to be happy with just this. He did try to threaten her more, but it was useless and meaningless. The AI only revealed this since she herself wasn't sure if the mermaid princess with the power of Poseidon was born or not. If he can get the confirmation, it will only help her in the long run. Even now, she was trying to play him, and this time only she got him. Phew! Amon released a breath filled with displeasure and looked up in the sky. It was around noon time. He went to the training hall 7 hours ago, and then went to the Shandora hall 4 hours ago. Now he was here out in the sun. Amon's frown slowly disappeared with the sunlight plummeting on his face. He doesn't have any duty in the sky anymore. Most of the things he needed to do were done, and currently, it was the kingdom building period. That's something that will be done, even if he is not present 24/7. He should now move with the things. He has many things to do: alliance, talking over, and recruiting. 3 more stages left for him to enter the final stage. First, I need to go to Alabazam. Suddenly, Amon's frown returned and he flashed in his shrine. He received electrical signals from his special tone dial. The dial releases electrical signals the more mist calls it receives. 15 missed calls. He didn't know what happened. Why did Robin call him this many times? He didn't think twice and turned into a bolt of lightning, going towards Whiskey Peak. He also took some gold in his bag for emergency use.